I know it's Thanksgiving. I know you guys are busy. I also know you guys are planning some fishing trips for this weekend. So I'm not going to leave you hanging without a report. Let's take a look at a few pictures. We'll get right into it. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. It's November 28th. This is the weekly In Deep on the Delta fishing report. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are all at home with your family enjoying this Thanksgiving. So let's get into the report, and we'll have a special guest today, so make sure you stick with me here. Let's start off with golden mussel information, and I just want to say that as this invasive species situation, new invasive species situation here on the Delta evolves, I will keep you up to date. I have gotten in hold with one of the information officers for Fish and Game. They know that I'm here on the Delta. I do a weekly report. The Delta is the epicenter of where this mussel situation is happening, so we're gonna be in contact with these information folks, and we'll make sure as things start to evolve, we'll give you up-to-date, informed information. I won't be talking about just guys that have been at the ramp and saw this, that, or the other thing. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about Berryessa. As you guys know, last week the Fairfield Sassoon Bass Reapers Berryessa Open tournament was canceled. They pulled their permit. Well, things are changing fast. Capel Cove at Berryessa is closed with the exception of special events permit users. So what was pulled last week, and I don't know how this has happened other than it's an evolving situation, the Bass Reapers permit last week was pulled. For those of you who are planning events there and you have a special permit, Capel Cove will be open, but it's closed to all other boating. Now, all other launches on Berryessa are open. Here's the catch. If you've been on the Delta, if your boat has been on the Delta, you have a 30-day quarantine. So if you've been on the Delta in the last 30 days, you're closed to Berryessa. All other boats, if you go in there, your boat's going to have to be clean, dry, and it's going to have to pass a rigorous inspection. That is Berryessa. As of a couple days ago, Lake Comanche is closed totally to all boating. That's going to be a 30-day closure, and I don't know what the deal is with the 30-day closure other than these agencies are trying to get together and get their biologists together and kind of figure out what's going to be going on. We've got a lot of folks going out here at Paradise Point, so you may hear a boat or two going out in the background. We're going to work through that. So anyhow, for the next 30 days, Comanche is closed. If you want to take the family up to the trout pond for the day after Thanksgiving, the trout pond is open and bank fishing is open. As far as I know, as of Wednesday, all other lakes are open. Clear Lake is open. Maloney's is open, but if you're heading up anywhere and you've been on the Delta, you may want to call before you go up there. Let's get into a little brighter news here. Down south, for you guys that are fishing in the Don Pedro area, got a report from Christian Ostrander. Most of you guys know Christian as being a big stick here on the Delta. You know he's a big stick up at Clear Lake. But some of you may not know, Christian grew up down in the Turlock area, and he considers Don Pedro his home lake. He's been up there guiding, and he's been just wrecking them. I talked to him about what's going to happen in the next few weeks as winter comes on, and he assures me that Don Pedro is one of those lakes that holds the bite throughout the winter. Christian is guiding down there. He's not only getting a lot of fish, he's getting some big fish. He got a 7.5 just the other day. If you want to call Christian and get in on some good fishing down in Don Pedro, you may want to give him a call, and I'll put his number up there, 209-648-3778. And remember, Christian is down in at Don Pedro. Give him a call if you want to get out on Pedro. Let's talk about the Crappie Closet Christmas Crappie Shootout. That's going to be December 7th at Holland Track Marina. I'm going to give you a little information on that because we want this thing to be a success. I know Marlon Carpenter, who is tournament director, has been working hard on this. Again, it's December 7th, Holland Track Marina. $100 entry fee, a 5-fish bag limit of crappie, 8-inch minimum. Here's some cool stuff. Big fish side pot. Biggest bass side pot is 100% payout. That's a $25 pot. There's also a big crappie pot, $25, 100% payout. They're going to have a toy and canned food drive at the tournament. If you want more information on that, get a hold of Marlon at 510-691-0586 and talk about crappie fishing. My buddy Kenny Vang, who has been fishing up north, has been reporting on some excellent crappie fishing up in the sloughs, the back end sloughs, up around Liberty, up in that area. Kenny's getting a lot of big fish, and he's getting good numbers of fish. If you want to check out what Kenny's doing, go to Kenny is Busy Fishing. That's his YouTube. I know he's been posting some stuff, and I think he's going to have some videos of crappie fishing up that way for you guys that are fishing up there. All right, let's get into what's going on here on the Delta. It's wintertime, obviously, or early winter. We have about 50 to 54 degree water temps. I did talk to Joey Price from Priceless Fishing. He's getting water down in the low 50s out north. He's been fishing out of Big Break. He's been getting 48, 50 degree water, but generally right around there 50 to 52. Joey's been fishing for both largemouth and stripers. The largemouth bite is slowing down. He's had to slow down a lot of his presentations. He's still picking up fish on jerk baits. The water in and around the Sacramento River, Joey's reported, was kind of blown out a little bit with that rain that we had. So if you're up there, you're looking to go out of Sherman Island or up and down the Sacramento in there, as of a couple days ago, that water was pretty blown out. So you might want to check that out if you're planning on going for a striper trip up that way. And that's Joey Price from Priceless Fishing. Joey's guiding up there. He's out there almost every day. If you want to call Joey, his number is 925-872-9726. So let's talk about stripers. And I mentioned I had a special guest, so we're gonna cut out to Joe from Core Fishing. Joe and I did a trip on Tuesday, had a great time. Let's check out Joe, and he'll let you know what he and I did this last Tuesday. All right, I'm here with my special guest, Joe from Core Fishing.
How you doing?
Joe took me out today for stripers, and we have been working the main channel up from Ladd's up to, I'll say, just Point Slough up here. Beautiful day. Joe, the fish are out here. We haven't seen, what, 2 boats, 3 boats?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 boats all day. The fish are out here and they're biting.
Yeah, so let me give you a rundown of what we're looking at. About 54 degree water temps. No breeze at all, flat calm. You can see what's going on out here. Few birds up and down the main channel. A few sea lions. But there's been fish at every stop, and we've got some nice fish. I'll put some pictures up there of some of the fish that we've got. About a 15, 20 fish day.
I would say about 15, 20 fish day. It was a pretty solid day in terms of numbers.
Along with, I think we got 3 nice largemouth bass. So Joe, tell them what we've been doing, what we've been throwing, and just maybe give a few suggestions for somebody coming out on the weekend.
Yeah, so today was actually forecasted as not great. We just had a big storm roll through. We weren't sure how the water was going to be like. And today we just came out with like 2 or 3 baits. We had a paddle tail swim bait, we had a topwater, and a glide bait or jerk bait. And between those 4 baits, we rotated, but the swim bait was just getting bit. The swim bait by itself and the A-rig, it was just drawing a lot of bites. And honestly, every place you can go, there was just stripers biting. It was just a good solid day out here.
This guy right here, nothing special. 5.2 Kitech on the bottom, couple of easy shiners on the top. This happens to be a different bait because the other one got pulled off, but kind of this blue color, no flash at all, and that's what was doing it for the A rig. Standard, you were just throwing a paddle tail.
I was throwing a regular 5-inch paddle tail on a 1/2 ounce jig head. It was getting bit. The biggest thing was finding the stripers because they move a lot. And if we were finding them and they're chasing bait, as soon as you found them, you get bit right away.
And out of the 15 or 20 fish that we got, and we'll throw out those last couple. It's kind of getting towards the end of the bite. We picked up 3 or 4 shorts.
Yeah.
But I'd say the first 15 fish we caught maybe 1 or 2 shorts. Everything else was right there at keeper size, maybe an inch under, an inch over. But we had at least a half a dozen fish that were in that, I'll say 5 to 7, 8 pound range.
Yeah, most definitely. The grade of fish out here was definitely better today.
So guys, come on out, especially if you can get out on a weekday, fish in between the storms. The water is probably 3 to 4 feet visibility.
Yeah.
54 degrees, everything's going, and the rain isn't going to hurt this. As soon as we get more rain, there's going to be more fish, so it's time to get out and go striper fishing. Joe, thanks a lot, man.
Anytime.
Joe put me on a lot of fish today, so thanks a lot. Check out Joe at Core Fishing, and I think he's going to have this video up in a week or two.
Yep, most definitely.
Give these places a little time to calm down before the crowd gets out here. So guys, thanks a lot. Let's get back to the video. And that video should be coming up in a week or so, so make sure you keep in contact with Core Fishing. Joe will have that video up in just a minute. So along with the striper fishing, everyone's talking about, how great of a year it's been. There's a lot of fish in the system. They're good, healthy fish. They're fresh fish from the ocean. My son Nathan and his buddy Fish King, they've been out fishing, and they're talking about how fresh these fish are. Some of them had sea lice on them, so they're just a couple days out of the ocean, if that. They're flooding into the system. As we get more rain, the stripers are going to be in here. We were throwing all of the striper baits that you can talk about, jerk baits, A-rigs, paddle tails. Didn't get anything on top water, but we weren't out real early. We didn't really push the top water too much. So if you're coming out, go out, have a good time. I just put up a video on striper baits in deep on the Delta. You should check that out, and that'll give you an idea of what to bring out if you're not sure on what these stripers are biting on. Talk to Rob at the Bass Hole. Stripers are obviously around Frank's track. Everyone that I talk to fishing in the Delta is talking about 2 baits right now. It's jerk baits and A-rigs. That's what I've been finding. I know everyone that I've been talking to is talked about fishing jerk baits and A-rigs. So those are the 2 baits that you really want to start with. If you're fishing for largemouth bass, you might want to slow down and go with some worms and some drop shots and things like that. So basically, that's the striper report. The largemouth bass are slowing down out here, but there is good fishing to be had on any given day. One of the bright spots is most of the fish are in that 2 to 3 pound class. Also, a lot of the smaller bass that we were catching, having those 30, 40, 50 fish days with, a month ago, they're kind of slowing down a little bit. It seems like those males that are in the, I'll say 2 to 3, 3.5 pound class, they're still very active. And I can tell you from my fishing experience, and I've been kind of concentrating on the stripers here the last week or so, man, when I'm throwing an A-rig, I'm getting some really nice largemouth in places that there should be stripers. So don't think the largemouth bass are just hugging the bank now. They are out, they're out on the breaks, they're in that 10 to 15 feet of water, they're chasing shad, and this is the time to really get on the water and move around. Whether you're fishing for stripers or largemouth bass, just get out there and make sure you're moving. Make sure you're throwing either a jerk bait, a rig, or maybe a lipless. Crankbaits in colors of both shad and crayfish are still doing well. Baits that are moving quickly. I know a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, the chatterbait was really coming on. I haven't heard a whole lot on the chatterbait. I would stick with those baits that I just talked about, and you're probably going to catch some fish. If you're a jig guy and you want to slow down and start picking things apart, if you know where the fish are, use that jig, use the drop shot, use a plastic worm, slow down. You may even get a few bigger fish. With that, I'm going to let you guys get back to your family and enjoy the Thanksgiving. And I just want to say once again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, especially during this time of year, winter time. I know a lot of you guys aren't out there fishing, but you tune in anyhow just to see what's going on. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys that hit the like button and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you back next Thursday. We'll see how the fishing is going. Good luck.